order to address the problem of unemployment in Cameroon?
Yeah, there are many policies that the government should put in place or extend. For example, we have to continuously invest in what is called the vocational training system. Uh, it's only through vocational training that will be able to create more jobs, because you need skills. So the government needs to invest much in the vocational training institute. Secondly, the government needs to provide a lot of finances and exoneration for private vocational training institutes, which are very, very important. The government is also doing something which is very important within the, let's say, lay private as well as government public schools by introducing entrepreneurship within the schools. So the government should not just take entrepreneurship as a means of buying and selling, but entrepreneurship, which is a way of thinking, a mindset where people see problem as challenges and take these challenges as opportunity, transform them into products or services. So we need to introduce entrepreneurial mindset within the schools, as well as concluding them with entrepreneurial projects. On the other part, we need to create what I call special competitive zones within rural areas, and work with the decentralized authorities to make sure that in every villages we have a space where every young person that can dream, has ideas, can go to this space to produce, transform. That is so important. Most of this is called rural competitive zones, where the government can bring in electricity, water, bring in expertise, coaches, incubation centers at these areas, and allow young people that wants to transform cassava into gari, package them and export them. They can go to this area. Secondly, government needs to bring in what we call second generation special economic zones, meaning that the government has to work with MACZ, which is the Cameroon government's organization responsible for the creations of special economic zones, because a lot of young people are using habitat area to transform their goods and services, where the electricity at habitat area are very expensive and the certification of the quality are very, very expensive. But if we take them to the special economic zones, it's very important. That is why we are recommending the government to give more resources to MACZ, so that they can create more special economic zones. Thirdly, the government should, with the 50 billion seed capital that they have given for youth and women projects, we should be able to use that money to create better ecosystem and acceleration centers, not just distributing the money to young people. We should create special economic zones or special spaces, and make sure that young people that are investing investing in creating projects could have the space as well as the minimum finances to be able to start. And last but not the least, we need to create the formalization of the informal sector, meaning that we have to make sure that the informal sector, starting with survivor enterprises, they can migrate from the survivor enterprise into what we call test and learning entrepreneurs, into cooperative, as well as very small enterprises, medium enterprises, before they could become large, small enterprises, medium and small and large enterprises. They are so important for us to create such ecosystem. But again, Cameroon needs to continuously open market, because when you people will not understand that for you to create a lot of jobs, you need to have the market to sell the products. That's why the government is to carry out policy like fast tracking our integration process within the African Continental Free Trade, which is already there. We need that market. We have to make sure that we create what we call sub-regional trade fair. We know Promote is a very good sub-regional trade fair, but we need to also have other trade fair and roadshow to other countries where we show Cameroonian talent and gain contracts and offers where Cameroonian enterprises can produce to sell them. We should also make sure that we fast track the 420 megawatt of electricity that has been produced by the Nactica Dam. We should make sure that the government facilitate and fast track Sonatrach's infrastructural development to make sure that we can get those energy into different production and transformation and processing basin to make sure that the young people who dreams in developing their enterprises have the necessary electricity. Last but not the least, we need to make sure that the digital economy that is so important, we need to make sure that we open spaces and make sure that young people who have who carry out ideas and innovation within these spaces has the necessary backing. Cameroon government needs to carry out what I call the pull towing strategy, where a stronger vehicle pulls a smaller one. We have to identify national champions companies, provide them with the necessary resources, finances, and the market access. But we give them the opportunity to be able to recruit and pull the smaller companies that are behind. This is what has been done in countries like China, in Germany, where you have the ecosystem of car manufacturing. You have a bigger company like Mercedes pulling other smaller companies that provide chairs, horns, electronics, or tires that provide at least little parts for the production and distributions of vehicle parts. That is why we also need to make sure that we identify our national champions, be it those in the animals and fishery sector, or be those in the food transformation sector. We need to identify these people, give them the necessary finances and tax exemptions, and make them a national pride so that they can provide jobs for young people. And I think that if we do all of this, and concluding with something that is so close to my heart, which is the information bank, people need to have access to information. There are a lot of programs that are there. The government has to make sure that people have, most of the unemployed have access to those to information where those jobs are. It is very important for them to be able to do that. That is why we are also asking that information access are so important, and we should be able to support access to information. Why not support the National Employment Agency, provide them with the necessary finances? Because the National Employment Agency is so archaic. I mean, their infrastructure and their dispensation is not really adapted to the job seekers' way. We have to make sure that that structure is being modernized and restructured.
Thank you.
What was that noise?